typhoon hits the coast with full force, a man sneaks into a suspicious apartment building. He enters a dark room and finds a laptop lit up with a creepy message, saying that someone was waiting for him. Before he can react, a shadowy figure appears, throws him out of the room, and drags him away. The man does not survive. Elsewhere, Jong-woo is on the phone with his girlfriend Jun, while moving to a new city. On the way, his laptop breaks. He tries to win another one in a contest but fails. With no luck in repairing the device and no place to stay, he comes across a cheap ad on an app, a place called Eden Studio, which costs just 190 euros per month. Sweaty and out of breath, he walks up the steep streets to check out the place. Upon arriving, the building seems haunted, old, and spooky. The woman at the reception shows him a messy room with stained walls. It turns out that the previous tenant died there, but the price is too good to refuse, so Jong-gu closes the deal. But as soon as he sits down, he senses something is wrong. A guy stares at him through thick glasses like a statue. Another Duck Jong laughs like a maniac. Jong-gu begins to feel like he's made a big mistake. He checks the common areas and they're disgusting. That night, De-jong and the silent Namok sneak into the hallway, talking to a mysterious person and then attacking him. Meanwhile, Jong-gu is on the roof, lying to Jun about where he lives. The next morning, he hears a strange noise coming from upstairs and goes to the 4th floor, which is a forbidden area. De-jong appears, smiling, and tells him to stay away. In town, the police are on the trail of someone killing cats, and Jong-gu meets an old friend for dinner. Later, he has a flashback to his days in the military and loses control during a street fight. Back in Eden, a strange man with a black bag asks him creepy questions, but Jong-gu flees to his room. He begins to feel eyes on him and discovers a hole in the wall indicating that someone has been spying on him. In the bathroom, things get even stranger. One of the residents warns him not to trust anyone and to leave while he can. Jong-gu's paranoia reaches new heights. Namok begins whispering outside his door at night, deciding whether to kill him. Jong-gu wakes up to creepy sounds and finds room 305 soaked in blood. A ghostly ambo attacks him and knocks him down. He then wakes up in his room and realizes that chaos has spread through the hallways. He discovers that De-jong has a twin. All the residents look at each other as if something is about to explode. Jong-gu finally realizes that he is trapped in a nightmare. Namok wonders if he should follow De-jong-gu after the tense encounter they had. In the morning, Jong-gu goes to work, but Cube, the guy who calmed the confusion, approaches him. They have a strange conversation before Jong-woo heads to the office where most people seem friendly, except for Bongmin, who simply ignores him. While Jong-woo is at work, things change at Eden Studio. The residents surround a man and stab him in the back, but it is just a nightmare. He wakes up to a noise coming from the upper floor. Curious, he checks the forbidden 4th floor. What he finds is a bloodied man leaning against the wall. With his eyes wide, he turns to run only to be hit by an axe in the face. Meanwhile, the police close in on the cat killer. A tip leads them to Eden Studio. Lead investigator Jungwa interrogates Jung and takes him to the police station. After discovering that he is autistic, they release him even after he calmly admits to killing 13 cats. But while posting missing person notices at the police station, the police notice something strange. All the missing people live near Eden Studio. At the same time, a kind dentist teaches a boy how to brush his teeth. The mother thanks him, saying that the boy will only accept treatment from him because he is the kindest dentist. After a day, Jong-gu goes out to dinner with his colleagues, but things go awry when Jaho calls him a freeloader, trying to disguise the insult with a compliment about his writing. Meanwhile, Ijung manages to break free and calls Detective Cha, but there is only static as he cries for help. As he ponders what to do, Duck-yun is reprimanded by Ki-hook for not keeping a close eye on Hee-jung, and he reacts by repeatedly punching himself. Still without news of Jun, Jong-woo drinks alone in his room. He finds a diary under his bed and begins to flip through it. The entries start out normally and until the writing turns into madness. Page after page, scrawled with the word Ms. Jun. Shaken, he tries to ignore it and goes out to drink. On the way home, Detective Chaochi reveals that Hee-jung is not only missing, but also a wanted man. When the detective returns to his car, Ki-hook appears and chokes him. Jong-woo sets out to find him after receiving his laptop in the mail. At that moment, the friendly dentist is revealed to be the one in control. He chides, Ki-hook might have stepped out of line. There's a photo of Len Studio in the dental office with a note saying the group is made up of volunteers. Up on the roof, Jong-gu discusses his novel with the dentist Munjo, but the conversation changes when Myo starts rambling about murder and the different ways to end someone. Not wanting to hear any more, Jong-gu returns to his room and begins out with a body and begin digging a grave. After dreaming about the army, Jong-woo wakes up to find Namok's room empty. He inquires and then dusts his laptop, a trap to see if anyone has been snooping. But as he leaves, he freezes. Namok stands at his door, silently watching him. Ignoring Jong-gu, Munjo, now acting as the leader, tells Dejong to take care of the unit. 303. As Jong-woo walks away, the trio continues to hold Haejing prisoner. With his mouth forced open, Munjo grabs a scalpel and says it will be over soon. Then he begins pulling out his teeth one by one. At the police station, policewoman Jung-hwa receives a visit from a worried woman. Her husband has disappeared and was terrified before passing out. It turns out he was also living at Eden's studio. At the office, Jong-gu is distracted. He keeps looking at Bong-min but doesn't dare ask for help. After lunch, Jung-gu stays to work later, ignoring Jaho. Meanwhile, Yoon-fua begins to connect the dots from Dejong's ramblings. She investigates further and begins to discover who really lives at Eden's studio. There seems to be a familial connection between the twins and Boksun, especially when they are seen together dragging another body as if it were a task. Anyhow, Jong-gu lurks in the shadows, watching them as he drags the body and sings a macabre song. As he watches the twins, Munjo appears. He says no Chalam that he shouldn't move trash at night. Acting smartly, the twins claim that the blood is just food scraps. When Jong-gu opens one of the bags, he steps back. Pale, Myo quickly says not to throw away a dead cat like that. Back at Eden's studio, they gather in the kitchen. Myo offers Jung-gu some food. After a bite, he makes a face because the taste is strange. Then as the lights flicker, he makes a sinister joke about human flesh and smiles at Dejong-woo, scaring him. After Munjo's joke, Dejong-woo returns to his room and finds everything in order while Bunin eats the meat Munjo left behind. On the way, Duk-jong is stopped by policewoman Jung-hwa, who notices a watch similar to the one on the missing person. She orders him to open the trunk and sees red stains that the twins said were leftover food. After a moment of panic, her partner appears in the police car and Yonggwa leaves. The next day, she returns to Eden's studio in plainclothes. Boksun tells her that the missing man lived in Unit 303, the same as Jong-gu. When the writer passes by, he hears Dunko mention that the previous tenant is missing, not dead as Boksun had led him to believe. On his way to work, the policewoman stops him and asks him about Eden's studio. He tells her about the missing persons and the previous detective before heading to work. At the office, Jay does not appear, causing his colleagues to become jealous. As he says goodbye to her in the taxi, he sees Munjo staring at him across the street. But when a car passes by, his ghostly figure disappears, leading him to believe it was just a hallucination. Invited for tea, drugs a woman while Dejong appears. She is also part of the plot. While tying up and provoking the woman, she makes it clear that she knew her from before. Back at the police station, Jung-hwa calls in the search for the cat detective regarding the Eden studio. Noticing a pattern, she shares her theory with her colleague who tells her not to worry. At the dental office, she talks to her dentist Myo about her work and theories. Unknowingly, she reveals the case to him while he is preparing an injection. About to be drugged, Youngwa runs out at the last second because of an important phone call. Back at the Eden studio, Boksun gives Jong-gu some soup which he drinks greedily. She questions him about his conversation with the detective and tells him to be careful about spreading rumors as it could affect his business. Stumbling back to his room, he realizes that he has been drugged. Hearing whispers in the hallway, Jong-woo finds the residents outside with weapons waiting. As he sleeps, Munjo smiles from the other room, spying on him through the crack in the wall. Jong-gu wakes up feeling sick while Munjo whispers to Duk-jong next door and laughs. Later, Jong-gu wakes up feeling something is wrong. His laptop feels strange, too clean. He realizes that someone has entered his room. To find out who it was, he talks to Bungmin, who is checking the security cameras, but the recording of that exact moment is missing. Jong-gu accuses Nambok and confronts him, but Munjo intervenes. With no response, Jong-gu returns to his room. After a brief conversation with Munjo, he ignores the strange feeling and falls asleep. During a meeting at work, Jian receives a call from Dejong-gu but does not answer. Meanwhile, Jung-hwa finds him on the street and asks him if something strange happened at Eden Studio. Jong-woo mentions the scary noises from the 4th floor, but then sees Boksun in the shadows. Boksun later warns Munjo, who calmly says he will take care of it. Jung-kae arrives at Eden Studio alone, dressed in his police uniform, and goes up to the 4th floor. She checks all the rooms. In one of them, Namok holds a knife to a woman's throat, keeping her silent. As Yunua passes by, she finds a dentist's chair and continues. Namok starts to follow her but finds nothing and leaves. Inside, Namok returns and panics. His victim is missing. The woman escapes and manages to stop someone to ask for help. Unfortunately, that someone is Munjo. He calms her down with sweet words, then brings her back inside and locks her up again. Later, Jong-woo joins his team for dinner. He offers a rose to a colleague and it seems like they are getting closer. A little drunk, Jong-gu calls Bongmin weird and picks a fight before leaving. He gives the wrong address to the taxi driver and passes out in the backseat. The driver drops him off at the police station where he falls asleep on a desk. Young wakes him up and he finally confesses that he is afraid of Eden Studio. Meanwhile, Jae arrives at the building and Munjo opens the door with a smile, realizing that she is there for Jong-woo. He runs back to Eden's studio while Jae enters only to be stopped by Boksun, who guides her inside the building. Jong-gu arrives shortly after, grabs Jun and pulls her outside where they discuss their future. After the chaos, Jungro discusses Eden Studio's dark past with his colleague. Inside, Munjo tells Boksun that he will be handling Unit 303 this time. On his way down, he overhears Dejong after hearing him complain about Dejong-woo's behavior. Feeling tense, Jong-woo goes up to the roof, sends a message to Jun and watches the footage from the previous night. What he sees shocks him. He was completely drunk, confronting Namok and calling Duck Jong an idiot. Realizing things are getting out of hand, he starts looking for another apartment while Yun investigates further. She discovers that Eden's studio passed into Boksun's hands after her husband died in a fire, just before the family was due to receive a large insurance payout. Jong-woo reunites with Jun the next day, but as soon as he sees Munjo in the distance, he starts acting strangely. Jun, tired of his mood swings and growing paranoia, leaves, leaving him even more shaken. Back at the studio, he hears a commotion upstairs and decides to go investigate. Sneaking through the hallways, he surprises Mungo, stabbing Doug Jong and warning the others that if they don't test themselves, they'll be next. Shaken, Jong-woo goes back to bed but wakes up in the middle of the night to strange noises coming from the apartment next door. He tiptoes out and freezes when he sees himself sitting on a chair with blood splattered on the wall. The other version of himself grins like a madman, tells him to run, and then bursts into laughter, leaving Jong-gu paralyzed with fear. The figure he saw was just a nightmare. As he wakes up in time, Yun is still thinking about what Munjo told him, trying to piece together the puzzle of Eden Studio. She eventually goes to the dentist where she talks to Munjo about the Urfanate spring. He calmly answers her questions. Sensing that she may be exaggerating, she gives up and goes in for her checkup. Meanwhile, Jongin meets the new resident, Seokyin. He warns her about the other residents and they go out together only to run into Munjo. The atmosphere is strange, but Yun-woo remains calm. He then follows Seokyin, who starts singing hip-hop in the street. Later in a restaurant, Jong-gu tells Seokyin that he should move. Eden Studio isn't safe, but Seokyin is more curious than scared. He wants to see what's on the 4th floor. Jong-woo tells him it's too risky. On his way back, Jong-woo takes a detour to Ji-hun's house but sees another guy leaving it. He hesitates and instead of making a scene returns to the studio, sensing that Sokin might be in danger. Back home, Jong-woo finds Seokyin and they chat. As Jong-woo complains about the others, Munjo appears from the shadows but disappears as quickly as he appeared. The two boys go downstairs to take a shower, trying to relieve the tension, but Namok watches them from the shadows. Later, he stands outside Jong-woo's room with a knife, but Jong-gu sees him in time. As he tries to grab his phone to take a picture, Boksun appears and surprises him. Jong-gu tells what Namok was doing to do. She goes to him and slaps him. Then, she orders Dejong to search her room for the knife. When he finds nothing, Jong-woo enters and trashes the place. The noise attracts Mungo, who catches Dejong trying to hide the knife. Dejong-woo's grip on reality continues to slip away from him. In an internet cafe, he loses his mind and makes a scene. Later, 3 guys follow him into a dark alley, but Eden Studio has disrupted him. When he attacks him, Jong-woo picks up a brick and fights like an animal, remembering his alarm time. Injured, he leans against the wall. That's when Munjo approaches, smiling as Jong-woo struggles to stay conscious, saying that he will take care of him. Jong-woo wakes up tied to a chair in Munjo's office, who is stitching up his wounds. Ju asks who Munjo really is, but he responds cryptically, saying that he might be what Jong-woo wants, a dentist or a murderer. A flashback shows Munjo meeting Ki-hook when he was still a new resident, telling him that he looks the same. He claims that he destroys people and remakes them. The lights flicker in the kitchen and when they come back on, the other residents smile behind him. Myo says that he will transform Ki-hook into a new person. In the present, Munjo tells Jung-gu the same thing, who asks him if he likes it, to which Mungo replies that he will simply make him a piece of art. Meanwhile, Yoon Kwa and her partner patrol the neighborhood. She checks the footage of a convenience store and finds a syringe left by Munjo the night he killed PQ. Meanwhile, the police respond to a call about the teenagers Jong-gu attacked. At the police station, he remains silent while the boys' mothers yell at him. Myo arrives and gives them money. As Jong-gu leaves, he almost cries. Jong-gu hands over his ID and tells him to call if he wants to. Needs help. On the way home, he says he's going to move out and pay Munjo back, begging him to leave him alone. Munjo touches his throat and says he likes seeing people's eyes, asking Jong-gu to stop hiding anything from him. Jong-gu reports that he suspects Detective Cha of having arrested, killed, or kidnapped him, but his case is closed due to lack of evidence. In Eden, Jong-gu considers running away, but Seo-kin appears and says the 4th floor smells of blood. In his room, he finds the body of the kitten he was feeding, but it turns out to be just his shirt. That night, he stays in bed, trying to block out the voices of Munjo and the others in his head. Young Kwa finds the security camera and sees the detective cat's car going up the mountain, but not coming back. The next day at work, Bungmin finds his keyboard destroyed and accuses Jong-woo. When he kicks his chair, Jong-woo calmly attacks him, takes a cup and smashes it on his head. Then, he uses the broken keyboard to hit him until another coworker stops him. Later, Jong-woo's boss says that Bongmin had minor injuries but had to stay in the hospital. He asks what's going on with Jong-woo and notices that he even had an argument with Jong-woo's expression changes, and he demands to know why Jae-ho met Jae-hun before leaving, threatening his boss. Jong-gu wonders if it's Eden's fault, his co-workers, or himself. He remembers the fight and smiles as he thinks he should have killed Bongmin, repeating what he said after his argument in the army. Meanwhile, Youngwoo takes the syringe to a lab and identifies a dental anesthetic and DNA that doesn't belong to Detective Chat. Reporter Joe visits Bungmin at the hospital, who calls Jong-woo a psychopath. He then contacts Jong-woo to meet at the office. Meanwhile, Jae-ho returns to Eden to see Jong-woo, who asks him how he found him and gets angry when he mentions Jun. Geo suggests they drink to clear things up. Jong-gu accuses him of seeing John behind his back, and Jae lies, saying she asked him not to say anything and calls him selfish. He drags him to a bar and berates him for his behavior. Then Jun arrives and Joo calls Jong-gu petty, which provokes him. Jong-gu asks if he wants to die and Jae-ho challenges him. John stops him, but Jong-gu grabs a bottle. She holds him back. Munjo suddenly enters the bar and Jong-woo freezes. Then Jun grabs the bottle from him. Joe tries to argue with Munjo, who accuses him of using Jong-woo and wanting Jian. He mocks Gio's false concern. At that moment, Jong-woo asks to talk outside on the street. He begs Munjo to stop following him. The man smiles and says that once that he is dead, he does not let go. Jae-ho comes out and Munjo tells Jong-gu that he saw how he wanted to kill Jae-ho. He whispers to Jong-gu to embrace his true self and leaves. Jae-ho offers Jong-woo money to sleep in a motel and promises to send him his salary. Jong-woo warns him to be careful. While Jae-ho is away, a trembling Jong-woo tells Jun that he was serious and warns her about Munjo. In the taxi, Jong-woo says that he will return home the next day. Jae-hun realizes that his mood is changing because of Munjo. He starts crying and says that the man is scary. Reporter Joe sneaks into Jong-gu's office while he stays in a motel, realizing that fear follows him. Meanwhile, Gio takes an elevator and sees Mungo outside before the door closes. At the motel, Jong-gu is startled by a noise but relaxes when he sees Jun turn on the TV. Jae-ho returns to his office unaware that Munjo enters behind him. Myo injects him and hits him with a statue. He sees a message from Ji-hun and replies pretending to be Jae-ho, but she declines the appointment. So Munjo calls Daejong to clean up the mess. Reporter Joe follows Munjo, but Daejong grabs him and threatens him with a toy gun. Later, Munjo shares a drink with Soken and jokes that meat is human. He laughs nervously and then tries to call Jong-gu but gets no answer. He sneaks to the 4th floor and hides when Daejong and Nambok pass by. As he tries to get out, Munjo appears, demands that he leave his room, and steps forward with a hammer. At the same time, Jong-gu wakes up in a hotel. He sees Munjo, grabs a knife, and attacks her, but it turns out to be Jae. He stops in shock and Jae, scared and angry, runs away, ignoring Jong-gu's calls. She says she tried to kill him. Understand, but now she thinks he should give me a break. Then she gets in a taxi and leaves him behind. Ju investigates Detective Cha's disappearance and finds footage of his car driving up a mountain. But when she never returns, she finds the charred remains of the cat car and calls her partner to confirm the identification. At the hotel, Jong-woo sees messages from Soken saying he had been drinking with Munjo and senses something is wrong. He calls him but gets no response. Realizing Seo-kin didn't send the message, Jong-woo grabs his knife and rushes to the building. On the mountain, Detective Lee berates Dianua for acting alone. She says she warned them. Lil ignores him until another officer reports finding a body with needle marks. Jonggu arrives at Eden and goes upstairs with his knife. A woman sees him but doesn't say anything. On the third floor, Soken appears and says that it was a joke. Jonggu gets angry thinking he's working with the others. Soken insists he's on his side, then Munjo's voice is heard but the hallway is empty. Jongwoo tells Seokyun to leave but he says he can't. He tries to take Jonggu's hand and says the neighbors are good people, but Jonggu calls him crazy and leaves. A bleeding and crying Seokyun begs him to stay but is ignored. Munjo tells Soken he tried but now he has to be punished. Elsewhere, Nanbok mocks Haijing and stabs him. The man reposts but Chab gets a call from his loving probation officer about his electronic bracelet charging. Boksun soon finds him and overhears him speaking Mandarin. She says she knows he's lying. The body is confirmed as Joe's. Junua asks about the syringe and Detective Lee says they'll check if it matches the drugs found previously. He promises to investigate Eden if there is a match. She warns that someone else could die but he dismisses her. On the fourth floor, Soken cries as Munjo tortures him by showing him a string of teeth from a previous victim. Then he pulls out another tooth. Boksun finds Aijong and complains about Namok damaging his property. Dejong goes to the bedroom and finds some memory cards. He remembers offering reporter Joe an article about a serial killer saying he would provide evidence. Munjo continues pulling teeth, planning to send them to Jonggu. Seokyun pleads but Munjo adds the teeth to a bracelet. John looks at the doll-shaped keychain Jonggu gave him while standing outside his house. He starts to send him a message, deletes it, and goes to an internet cafe. The next morning, his partner finds Diane asleep after researching Eden. Jongwoo receives a message about Go's death and immediately blames Munjo. He remembers Sokun's screams and regrets leaving him. He calls the police to report murders at Eden but ignores them thinking it's a hoax. He is moved when his mother calls but says everything is fine. Boksun talks to another woman about her son studying for an exam. She jokes that the envoy to Eden would guarantee his success. When the woman criticizes Eden, Boksun's smile disappears and she invites him to go to karaoke. Meanwhile, Jonggu goes to Jaho's funeral and looks at himself in the mirror. His reflection blames him for Jaho and Seokyun's deaths. Jonggu doesn't until his colleague interrupts him. Back at Eden, Munjo reads Jongwoo's book to the tortured Seokyun. Dejong reports that the cleaning is complete and wonders if Dejong-woo will return. Myo is certain that he will. Dejong says life was good there because he could kill anyone. Myo stands up, tells Dejong to finish, and walks out with a package. He meets Boksun, who guesses the package is for Dejonggu. She asks about the others and says that if Jonggu comes back, they will have to get rid of the rest, to which Munjo quits. They will only keep the good ones. Upstairs, Dejong offers food, but Seokyun continues to beg for his life. Dejong complains that he was caught by the wrong guy. He gets angry, blaming Munjo for doing what he wants and killing his brother too. He thinks about killing Seokyun but instead gives him a chance to escape before Munjo returns. Seokyun stumbles into the hallway but Boksun hides him when Dejong comes after him with an axe. She tricks Dejong but after he pretends to leave, he comes back and pays her. Meanwhile, Jungwa finds a poisoned chain in a box. She suspects Eden and remembers Jonggu crying about the strange people who lived there. She tries to call him, but Jonggu treats everything like a nightmare and ignores her. His army friend Chenkin finds him and, seeing the cuts on his face, takes him out to eat, asking how he is doing. Yonggu reveals that he got a job through a friend. Shengyun talks about how he helped him in the army and how he always thought about returning the device to him. At the police station, Younggwa questions her role as a police officer. Reporter Joe meets Duck Jong, who gives him a case with memory cards. As Joe types, Munjo appears and kills him. Later, the police find Joe's body in his car. Younghwa thinks it is related to the other case, but Detective Lee disagrees. Jonggu tells Shenkin that people who leave Eden either disappear or die. His friend doesn't believe him and says the police thought he was drunk. Jun calls crying. A flashback shows Munjo cheating on her and attacking her. He is now talking to Jonggu on the phone. Furious, he runs to Eden and Shengyun insists on accompanying him. Jongwoo knows there is no turning back. Jungwa's partner says that Aijung's knife was found near reporter Joe's body and that he is now a suspect. She asks her partner to keep her updated and to follow her if she doesn't respond. Inside the building, Jongwoo and Chongyun find her room. On his laptop, he sees a message saying that someone was waiting for him. He checks Namok's room and finds it empty. Back in his room, he sees Chong lying motionless on the bed. It turns out that he drank a tonic that was left there. The sound of a tennis ball bouncing echoes through the hallway. Jong-gu closes the door and readies his knife. A shadow passes by and an axe smashes the door. De-jong breaks down the door under Namok's supervision. He provokes Jong-woo, who demands to see Munjo. He enters and offers to free Jin if Jong-woo kills Chunky. He shows the doll on the keychain he gave to his girlfriend, proving that he is holding her prisoner. Shocked, Jong-gu hesitates. Shankin regains his senses and looks at him with a plea. Instead of attacking his friend, Jong-gu attacks the others. He overpowers him and Munjo drags him into another room. Nambok and Dukjong corner Chong-hun, mocking him with an axe. In the other room, Munjo hits Jong-gu and injects him with something. He is thrown into the hall with his limp body past Changjin, who is bleeding. Jong-gu reflects that he used to think his old life was hell, but this place is the real hell. A flashback shows his family, with his mother preparing kimbap while he rushes off on a trip. She runs after him with the food and warns him about people, saying they are the scariest creatures. In the present, Jong-woo wakes up tied to a chair and sees Ji-hun lying unconscious nearby. Myo shows off a bracelet inside and says one of them belongs to Ji-hun. He puts it on Jong-gu's arm and warns him that his girlfriend is only sedated. Outside, Jungro arrives at Eden and sees blood on the ground. She arms herself with a taser and calls out to De-jong-gu. Boxen appears and claims he isn't there, but the policewoman keeps her taser pointed and yells at Jong-gu to answer. De-jong tries to attack her from behind, but she shocks him while answering her partner's call. Boxen slams Junko's head against the wall, knocking her out, and tells De-jong to lock her in the basement with Hyung. De-jong worries about the police, but she promises she'll take care of it. De-jong and Namok take the patrol car away while Jungwoo wakes up in the basement tied up. Her partner Yunho arrives. Boxen, now injured, claims that Jungro attacked him. The superior officer believes her and pulls Yunho away. After they leave, De-jong pours gasoline in the hallway. He searches for articles that expose Mo, but only finds news about the death of reporter Joe. He realizes that Myo killed Joe to prevent the story from spreading. In the basement, Junhwa uses broken glass to cut her restraints. Namok enters and lies down next to her, saying she's pretty. She attacks him with the glass, but he drags her back. Later, Boxen brings food, sees the cut on Namok's face, and mocks him. When he talks about being a family, Boxen burns him with boiling food, blinds him, and beats him. As he passes out, she reminds him not to touch anything that belongs to her. She repeatedly attack him, killing him. She exits the basement and sees Munjo waiting. She says they have to leave soon, but he tells her to wait. She doesn't like waiting. He reminds him that she raised him, then asks her to check room 303. Boxen heads over, but Munjo stops her and says they're in the kitchen. She goes there, but the kitchen is empty. Realizing she's been tricked, she grabs a knife. As she heads to the office, Munjo hits her with an axe. She mutters that she should have killed Junghwa, and Munjo throws her body out the window. In the basement, Junghwa wakes up. De-jong finds Boxen's body and climbs to the roof. Furious that Mungo killed the last member of his family, Sik-jong attacks Mungo, but he survives by cutting his neck and slitting Dukjong's throat. He stabs him multiple times before leaving his body behind. Meanwhile, Young-woo frees herself from her restraints while Junghwa tries to wake Haijing. When he doesn't respond, Junghwa looks for a way out. She spots Namok's body and uses the wrench Boxen used to kill him to break the lock on the cell. A call comes in to the police station and Yunho reacts when he hears that this is Eden. Back in the building, Munjo finds Jong-woo in the hallway and talks about becoming a god. He says they can kill or save anyone. Jong-woo replies that he can't wait to kill Mungo, so they attack each other and begin fighting. Myo knocks Jong-woo to the ground, breaking his ribs. He takes a scalpel and slits Munjo's throat. The man collapses, talking about human nature and calling Jong-woo his masterpiece. Jong-woo attacks him again with the scalpel. The police arrive and take Jungwoo and Geo to the hospital. Later, Eden is locked down. Munjo's office is closed, and Go's company is closed. Jong-gu watches the news from his hospital bed. Jun's boss watches the same report and spreads rumors online that Jong-woo is a murderer. Detective Lee visits Haijing, who can't speak. He shows him photos and asks him to identify the man who tried to kill him. Haijing points out everyone except Jong-woo. The detectives talk to Jong-woo's colleagues, who describe him as strange and violent. One of them accuses Jong-woo of conspiring with Munjo and demands his arrest. Jungwoo explains that Jong-woo saved Ji-hun after the dentist kidnapped him. The detectives say that Jong-gu confessed to killing Munjo, but it appears to be self-defense. He asks about Namok's death and the policewoman says she heard from a distance, which the detective finds strange. Jung-Kae visits Jae, who says her memory is fuzzy, but she has a flashback of Jong-woo shouting that it wasn't him. Junwar then visits Junggu, telling her that he will be cleared thanks to Haejung's testimony. Jonggu talks about right and wrong and says he should return to his novel. The detectives previously discussed that the murders in Eden were the work of an amateur, suggesting that one person killed everyone. Junggu avoids answering and walks away. Younghwa realizes that she still has her book and returns it to him. She believes she saw Munjo in the hospital elevator. Handing him the book, she hears the tint of his bracelet and remembers hearing it when Namok was murdered. The scenes repeat, showing Jonggu killing Namok, Baksun, and Dejong. Munjo's death remains unchanged. Jungwoo recalls the detectives' confusion over why Munjo would kill his companions and goes to his shaken car. The flashback shows Munjo telling Jong-woo to kill everyone else without exchanging his life, and Jong-woo agreed. In the present, Jong-woo is typing MERS on his laptop. He was talking to himself and Jun saw him during a seizure. Jong-woo now smiles to himself, his face superimposed on Munjo's as Munjo's voice whispers to him.